Okay, I'm back, and we're going to continue our review for the Unit 1 lecture exam in Introduction to Geology. And so here's some stuff that you should know from lesson number 1, the Earth in Context. So this corresponds to chapter number 1 in your textbook. And first thing you got to know is what's the difference between the geocentric universe and the heliocentric universe. So you should know the person who proposed the idea. So it'd be Ptolemy, who was an ancient Greek that put forth the geocentric universe, and then it was Copernicus who put forth the idea of the heliocentric universe. So you should know the difference between a geocentric, which means that the Earth is the center of the universe, and the heliocentric, which means that the Sun is the center of the universe. Okay, then here's some definitions that you should know. So what's the definition of what matter is? What is an element? What is an atom? What is a compound? And then what is a molecule? Know those definitions. Okay, then you should know that our planet is a member of our solar system. Our solar system is a member of a galaxy, and then galaxies are members of the universe. Okay, you should know what an astronomical unit is. The definition of the astronomical unit, which is the distance from the Earth to the Sun. You don't need to know the number that goes with it. Similarly, for the light year is the distance that light going at the speed of light can travel in 1 year. You should have a rough idea that a light year, it's approximately 4 light years from Earth to Alpha Centauri, and then our galaxy is about 100,000 light years across. So those would be some good numbers to know for the exam. Okay, what are the other planets in our solar system? So you should know the names of the different planets in our solar system. And you should know some general properties of those planets. So that you have the inner planets, and that is going to be Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And they're made of rock. And in the middle part of the solar system is going to be the Jovian planets, or the gas giants. So this is going to be Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They're made of gas and ice, and they're very big. And then you have the outermost objects, the dwarf planets, such as Pluto, and they're very small, and they're composed of rock and ice. Okay, so let's talk about in a little bit more detail about these planets. Okay, so that, for example, Mercury is very hot on the day side because it's very close to the sun. Now on the night side, it's very cold, and we'll find out later why that's true. Okay, then you've got Venus, which is very, very hot because it has the runaway greenhouse effect. And again, later in the course, we're going to find out why that's true. Okay, then we're going to be spending pretty much the entire semester talking about the Earth, so let's not talk about it now. So then you've got Mars, which is very small, has a very thin atmosphere, and is very cold. Okay, then we can lump together Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They're composed mainly of hydrogen and helium, and then they also have some ices in them. Then you've got the dwarf planet Pluto, which is very far away, so it's very cold. It's very small, and it's composed of rock and ice. So I think that if you know that, that's going to be good enough for the first exam. Okay, next, time for some physics. So you've got to know what a force is. It's a push or a pull. You got to know its abbreviation is the letter F. You should know that its unit is called the Newton, capital N. And then what can forces do? So forces can change the speed of an object. Another name for that is it can cause the object to accelerate. It could also change the direction of an object. So for example, the moon goes around the Earth because of the force of gravity. So if there was no force acting on the moon, it would go in a straight line. But the reason why it curves and it's going around the Earth is it's experiencing a force. That force is changing the direction of the moon. And then another thing the force can do is it can change the shape of an object. And we're going to find all about this in a later lesson when we talk about stress and strain on rocks and how it can squeeze them and how it can stretch them out. And then you should know about energy. So know about some different types of energy. And so you can see there's chemical energy, there is light energy, there is electrical energy, there is thermal energy, mechanical energy, and then nuclear energy. Okay, you should know about gravitational potential energy. So the energy that is caused by gravity, and it depends on distance. So the higher that you raise something, the more potential energy you give it. And so you're not going to need to know that formula for the exam, but you should know that gravitational potential energy depends on the mass of the object and how high that you lift it. Okay, then you've got kinetic energy, which is energy of motion. So that the faster an object is moving, the more kinetic energy it's going to have. And again, you're not going to need to worry about the formula for kinetic energy. But you notice it also depends on mass, and it depends on the speed of the object. And then you should know about conservation of energy, that you can't create or destroy energy. Now what you can do is change it. So you can change mechanical energy into thermal energy, or you could change thermal energy into electrical energy. But you cannot change or you cannot create the energy, and you can't destroy the energy. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, let's talk about how did the universe begin.